When you think about the Isle, you probably picture jungle forests, swamps, redwoods and mangroves. But there's one part of the map that has always felt kind of empty. The ocean. Right now it's mostly just a giant body of water around the island. But if you look at some old concept arts from the developers, it's obvious they had much bigger plans for it. The ocean wasn't supposed to be a border, it was meant to be its own ecosystem. Even the coastline looks more interesting instead of a flat beach. You got rocky cliffs, sea stacks, little coves, and shallow areas that completely change how players move around. For land dinosaurs, beaches wouldn't just be a place to walk by or possibly drink with your saltwater mutation anymore. They'd become risky, you never know what could be waiting just offshore. Then, once you look below the surface, that's where things get really interesting. The concept art shows several different ocean biomes instead of one big empty sea. Closest to shore, you'd have seagrass beds. This would be full of small fish and other AI creatures, making them a great place for young aquatics or semi-aquatics to hunt. Then you'd move into coral reefs. Reefs would naturally create a lot of cover. Smaller creatures would have to weave through tight spaces, while bigger predators would have to work a lot harder to chase them down. It wouldn't just be about swinging faster anymore. Personally, I think this could end up being one of the coolest places in game, not gonna lie. At least for semi-aquatics. Kelp blocks your vision, so instead of seeing a predator from a kilometer away, you might not know this until it's right beside you. That's the kind of environment that is perfect for ambush hunters, and it would make swimming through the ocean way more tense than just crossing open water. Once you leave the kelp behind, the ocean starts getting deeper. The seafloor opens up, there are fewer places to hide, and suddenly you're in the territory of the really big predators. And possibly something more bigger. It's almost like the ocean naturally separates itself into different levels. The beaches are busy with smaller animals, the reefs are packed with life, the kelp forests become hunting grounds, and the deep ocean belongs to whatever sits on top of the food chain. That's something land gameplay doesn't really have. On land everyone ends up fighting over the same areas, but underwater different species could specialize in completely different habitats. Like a Deinosuchus could thrive in the kelp forest, while a Spinosaurus could be in the deep ocean or something. I don't know actually, consider we don't have a full-on aquatic playable planned, so... But anyway, that makes the whole ecosystem feel a lot more alive. Some aquatic animals will probably benefit the most from this. Take Deinosuchus for example. Instead of spending its entire life inside rivers, imagine being able to move through estuaries and out of shallow coastal waters. You could hunt along beaches and more between river systems, or wait near the shoreline for something to wander too close. That alone would make coastlines way more dangerous, and if we even could get a real aquatic species in the future, they would all have to play the same way. Some could stick to rocky shores, others might spend most of the time around reefs. They'd all have their own niche instead of competing for exact same places. The ocean could also make AI a lot more interesting. And you chasing them, that would be totally cinema. Or dead dinosaurs washing into the sea, attracting the secrets from the deep. Even simple things like tides or storms could change how players move around. Maybe rough weather pushes fish closer to shore. Little details like that will make the world feel like it's actually changing instead of staying the same all the time. But that's a dream though. Imagine the performance. Pure torture. One thing I think people overlook is how different underwater gameplay actually is. On land, most threats are in front of you. In the ocean, danger can come from anywhere. Above you, below you, out of the darkness, or from behind a wall of kelp you couldn't see through. That alone would make aquatic gameplay feel completely different from anything else in the Isle. Looking at these concept arts, it's honestly a shame we haven't seen more of them yet, which means it's probably not even a high priority at the moment, because if the developers ever build an ocean like this, it wouldn't just give aquatic creatures somewhere to swim. It would create an entirely new ecosystem with its own food chains, hunting styles and survival challenges. And honestly, that would be bonkers if it made it into the game. But that's just dreaming away, right? So that's it for me guys. I hope you enjoyed my talk video. We are so close to 800 subs. Could see the 1k finish line. So close yet so far. I'd be so happy if I can reach that. But anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.